Hello everyone and welcome to Ragnarok Asia Masters 2023. We are your casters for tonight. My name is James.
And my name is MG. Let's go!
Let's go indeed, as
Yes.
this is the quarterfinals. The teams took a bit of time to get ready, of course, because we are now in the top 8 of
Yes.
our bracket right now. MG, let's take a look at who will be participating for tonight. Let's get it
Yes.
on right now.
Yeah.
Straight to the action. Let's
Yes.
go. Okay.
So for this one, we're gonna have our first match, Unlock versus Dignity. That's our first match. Second match is gonna be Essence versus Hers, and for our third match, that's gonna be Arrogant versus Hierarchy. And our last match, sorry, it's gonna be Sightlike and Resonance. There you go.
Yes, okay. So 4 matches for tonight. Of course, this is the top 8 teams of our Ragnarok Asia Masters 2023. And like what I mentioned, we are going to be having our first match, Unlock versus Dignity. They are now in their bye phase.
Yes.
So they are quickly setting up their characters just to make sure that they have stuff stuff that they need in order for them to achieve victory in this battle against their opponents. But yeah, this is going to be something else because this is the top 8 teams right now
Yes.
for Ragnarok Age Masters 2023. MG, what are you expecting from our teams for tonight?
Well, I mean, for our first team, it's gonna be really interesting because again, if you're talking about Unlock, since top 32, top 16, they lost one match versus 4-Leaf Clover, and on the side of Dignity, they actually have a flawless push towards the top 8, eliminating more fatty with the 2-0 and integrate with the 2-0. So technically, Dignity didn't lose any match yet. So it's gonna be really interesting on the side of Dignity. Are they gonna push for a perfect sweep here, or Unlock will take down this team or guild for their first match?
Well, let's see what will happen. And since this is the quarterfinals, top 8, we are going to be playing in map number 4. I think a lot of our viewers or players here are really familiar with this map. This is the map that has been chosen a lot of times in season 1 of Ragnarok Asia Masters. MG,
Yes.
you know how capable players are in this map and how they know the do's and don'ts in this map, and they know how to navigate really well.
Yes.
And of course, I believe they have sufficient practice for them to be able to perform really well here in our match for tonight.
Yes. And speaking of map, I really agree with the map on this one because again, we're talking about an open space map. So technically, there's no choke point compared to the last match or last top 16 match that we have on this one. So definitely, we're gonna see a different style of classes and strategies for this one. So pretty excited to see some Shadow Chaser again. Hopefully.
All right. Okay. So you talk about classes, MG. Let's move on to the match. All right. Let's see the classes of our players right here of our teams. So what do you have there for Unlock right now? MG?
Yes. On the side of Unlock, we have the 5-4 classes. We have the Royal Guard, Archbishop, Sura, and Sorcerer and the Minstrel. And the 2 added classes on the side of Unlock is going to be the Shadow Chaser and the Rune Knight.
Yes, and actually it's going to be a mirror match since Dignity has the exact same lineup. They are going to be participating here in round number 1 with a Rune Knight and a Shadow Chaser as well. So we'll see how this one goes. Maybe it's going to be strategy and the builds will be put to the test here for our teams. And we'll see how these teams will really come up with different strategies to defeat their opponents. We might see some full thralls in the first round, or maybe the Shadow Chaser or Rune Knight can actually go for that big push in round number 1. Or maybe they will save up for round number 2 to actually eliminate their opponents really, really quickly. So let's see what will happen here in round number 1 as the match timer has started, or the countdown for the match.
Yes. And I think for this map, Sura is gonna be really crucial for this one. I think a majority of the Suras that we're gonna see for the entire top 8 is gonna be a DPS Sura, which is they're gonna contribute a lot on killing the players here. While on the side of the Rune Knight, I think we might see a utility Rune Knight here, wherein he's gonna put those heavy pressures on the back lane of the enemies. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, we'll see. Not only the back lane will be pressured by that Rune Knight, also the front line
Yeah.
players as well. Maybe that Sura will get targeted, or that Shadow Chaser will not have enough time to actually counter their opponents or disable their opponents with that Masquerade. But, our Suras need to really be careful here in this situation, because again they are playing in a mirror match, and they have similar lineups basically right now,
Yes.
and or rather the exact same lineup as the other team. So the Rune Knight needs to really work well. The
Mm-hmm.
Sura needs to be careful, and we'll see how the Royal Guard protects his teammates as match number one. MG,
Let's
let's
go.
go. All right.
Okay.
Okay, so Unlock actually just pushing in. They actually met each other in the middle right here. Magnetic Earth will connect in a bit. Shadow Chaser of Dignity going in front. Rune Knight casting that Dragon's Breath. Magnetic Earth connected right now.
Dragon's Breath?
Dignity. Rune Knight going in. Crazy Vibes on the floor. Dragon's Breath coming from Unlock right near. Targeting Dignity. Dignity is in trouble by that. Rune Knight.
Sura, low HP?
Dignity will go down. And you can see Mask will go off. Curse Circle on that Shadow Chaser from Dignity. Dignity still trying to survive the battle. Unlock just taking down here the members of Dignity one by one.
Ooh.
Ooh, someone got stripped there. I think that's the Royal Guard of Dignity getting stripped by Unlock. And Unlock took one more down from Dignity, as Dignity has
Ooh,
5 players
strike
left.
down?
Rune Knight just causing massive damage here against Dignity. Royal Guard will go down. Maestro Archbishop is left. Unlock
Wow.
is just attacking Dignity one by one. Shadow Chaser alive, but is now defeated here by Unlock. I'm not sure if there's still a person or member left from Dignity right here, but wow, what a play here from Unlock.
Yes, that's actually a good push coming from Unlock. They actually know that they have the tempo, so they actually push that tempo towards Dignity, and they snowballed on the side of Dignity, and that resulted into a win. So that's a good tempo there coming from Unlock.
That's a nice piece that Unlock had
Yes.
earlier, to be honest. And they really did push really, quickly here in round number one. Of course, that Rune Knight was the key to victory in that match. But yeah, I like how Dignity just tried to survive that battle. But again, that Shadow Chaser stripped that Royal Guard,
Yes.
divested that Royal Guard, leaving him with only the accessories and the garment and shoes left. But yeah, that was a nice play, a really nice play coming from Unlock.
Yes, I really like the confidence there on the side of Unlock. They're just showing that they know what to do on that map, and at the same time, the pressure that they're providing, they know where to when to go in and when to paddle back on that one. We actually saw one player, or the Sura of Dignity, trying to push and try to pick off a few players on the side of Unlock, but I think Unlock was managed to read that push coming from that Sura, and that Sura got punished, and technically he lost his HP there. And from there, I think the Sura just, or Unlock just went in and take them one by one.
Actually, the Shadow Chaser of Unlock really did well there.
Yeah.
I saw them cast that Bloody Lust at the back lane earlier. Where there was no Magnetic Earth on the floor, and basically that disabled that Royal Guard and that Maestro for a little bit right there.
Yeah.
But yeah, just the right pace, the right timing for those skills that Unlocked used here in round number one really did well for them here against Dignity. So maybe we'll see a comeback coming from Dignity here in round number two. But Unlock, if they play this well against Dignity, they might be able to take this match.
Yes. I think what Dignity needs to do on this one, they need to be patient on their pushes. Like they should be playing reactively, or either reactively or very aggressive. Because I think on the side of Unlock, they're just throwing like one or two characters inside the stack of Dignity. And once that player is just doing the job that he needs to do, like the chaos that he needs to put in on the side of Dignity, I mean, Dignity is just reacting on that one or two players, while on the side of Unlock, they're just punishing those opportunities that that Dignity is giving to them. So they need
Yes.
to play safe and or either play safe or play really aggressive on this. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, we'll see in round number two. Maybe full throttles will get committed here in
Oh
round
yeah.
number two. Again, it's going to be hard for Dignity since they already lost round number one earlier, and they really need to catch up. Well, basically at the start of that match, the Rune Knight of Unlock was really drowning them in that Dragon's Breath,
Mm-hmm.
just attacking them constantly, hitting them with those Dragon's Breath. I think three or four members of Dignity are getting hit every cast of that DB, right?
Mm-hmm.
But for Dignity to actually counter that, they really need to have the right amount of pacing, the right amount of or the right positioning every time. So maybe that Surah of Dignity can go in, maybe cancel out three or four members of Unlock.
Yeah.
That's why, or so that they can, push with their own Rune Knights.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe that Surah of Dignity can actually go for that pick early on.
Yes.
But again, if Unlock continues to target the members of Dignity really well, like eliminating that Surah immediately as he goes in, that will be really difficult for Dignity since they need to capture this victory.
Yes, I agree with that. Yes, I think the on the side of Dignity, that Sura should be taking out the Shadow Chaser at the early phase of the game, because again, the amount of pressure that he's actually that's actually putting on the side of Dignity is actually really good. Disabling like few players, he's not letting them do their job. So I think that Gates of Hell should be pushed to that Shadow Chaser earlier,
Mm-hmm.
but I think he hesitated. Instead of killing that Shadow Chaser, he just went in and he wanted to do the exchange of players, but he didn't succeeded on that one. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, we'll see in round number two how Dignity will react here against Unlock. And I'm looking forward to actually see their battle because we know how Dignity is in terms of battling against a very um strong opponent, right? And they made sure to react to the moves that their opponent is doing. So
Yeah.
maybe we will see more of that here in round number two. And for round number one, Unlock, they just need to keep that pacing right. Just do what they did in round number one. Maybe they can repeat that same thing in round number two, and it can work out for them. But if Dignity commits that full throttle, if they actually use that for their Rune Knight or their Shadow Chaser, they can actually, cause a bit more damage than, how they did it in round number one.
Mm-hmm.
But the only downside of that is they won't have that full throttle available if ever there will be a round number three.
Yes.
So it's going to be all or nothing for Dignity if they actually use that or use their full throttles at this point. Because again, they really need to win this round number two in order for them to go to round number three.
Yes. I think on the side of Dignity, they need to like push their full throttle. Again, if you're sitting on the 1-0 scenario, you need to tie it up as much as you can. So if you need to pull those ace cards on your side, you need to pull those cards, because again, you need to have an extra life to push for number 3. So or round number 3. So if they need to use the full throttle, I think they should use the full throttle. Because again, Unlock right now is sitting on a 1-0 and they have the momentum, and you need to break that momentum in order for you to reset everything on round number 3. So yeah. So let's see.
Yes. Again, this is going to be a best of 3 match, even though this is the quarterfinals. Again, top 8 teams of our Ragnarok Asia Masters 2023. And I'm really looking forward to how the other teams will compete for tonight, because again, we will see some high level plays coming from these teams, or I'm
Yes.
expecting a lot of things.
Yes. The thing that we have a like a very tight spot on top 16, and now we're actually on an open space. So the adjustment coming from a mechanic ranger strat meta to a Shadow Chaser Rune Knight meta is kind of, I mean,
It's
the gap.
different.
Yeah,
But you
exactly.
know, NG, what I want to see here in this map is a Warlock being utilized.
Yeah,
This map is really good for a Warlock, though. You just need to use that Warlock really well.
exactly. Like I really miss having a Warlock on the 7v7 because the crowd control that he's actually providing, plus the solo burst target that he can actually provide to the team as well. That's actually one of the best classes in terms of high DPS character. So
Well,
you go ahead.
you know what I believe? If you are going to utilize a Warlock, you need to have a really top-notch coordination with your teammates.
Yeah,
Because you
it's
really
tough.
can't take someone down. If you're just a Warlock, you're just taking you want to take someone down without the additional help from your teammates, without that dispels going up, without the other skills from your teammates. It will be difficult for you to do just that. Because again, a Warlock is only, you can say a Warlock is only as good as his teammates, you can say.
Yes.
Because again, 7 versus 7, it's going to be a team, or really it's a team heavy tournament, or team heavy PvP.
Yes.
So you really need to rely on your teammates as well. But if a Warlock really gets utilized here, and if a team really plays with that Warlock really well, it can be dangerous even for Rune Knight compositions, Rune Knight and Shadow Chaser
Yes.
compositions. And for that Shadow Chaser, you just need to target that Warlock. You need to disable him completely, maybe at the start of the match, or maybe disable that Maestro. Whatever you can do for that Warlock to not be able to use the skill set that he has.
Yes. I really agree on that one. Again, maybe one of the reasons why they don't want to opt for a Warlock is because I think on the top 16, instead of opting for a Warlock, they just opt for a Ranger, because again, the Ranger has more mobility compared to Warlock, right?
Mhm.
But
Well,
again, yeah, but again, I still agree with you that Warlock has that if the Warlock has knows his placement on the battlefield, he's gonna be really dangerous. So yeah.
mhm. Well, you could say that, having a Rune Knight or playing with a Rune Knight and Shadow Chaser is more of a well-rounded lineup.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can cover everything. You can
Yeah.
cover everything basically. Because again, you have that additional DPS from your Rune Knight. You have that utility from your Shadow Chaser. And because of those skill set that you have,
Mm-hmm.
this is going to be very much easier for you to mobilize and move in and out from the battle, and just try to attack your opponents if you want to attack, defend if you want to defend.
Yes. But yeah, right now I think Dignity is just trying to scout out.
Mhm.
Surprisingly, Unlock is just trying to slow their tempo on this second match. They just don't want to commit any errors because again, Dignity is actually on a 1-0. So definitely Dignity is gonna be playing really aggressive on this one. And right now, Unlock is
Ooh.
trying to close the gap. Land Protector, they're just putting it, and range pressure here coming from the Rune Knight. Rune
Oh,
Knights are right
ignorance
now,
from
and the
Unlock.
Sorcerer is
Oh,
down on the side
sorcerer and
of
dignity.
Dignity. And right now, a good exchange of damages, and Dignity is just overextending on this one. Few members of Dignity is still at the back here, and one down again coming on the side of Dignity. Dignity is just sitting with 4 players. Unlock right now is just dominating this match, killing one player at a time, and right now Dignity is down with 0 players. Unlock sweeping every player on the side of Dignity. GG, well played on the side of Unlock. Woof.
It's a good game, all played indeed, and I like how the Rune Knight of Unlock, they were actually attacked by that Rune Knight of Dignity earlier, but because I think Unlock called for help because he
Yeah.
noticed that Rune Knight of Dignity was attacking their stack. That Rune Knight of Unlock came to help out their team. So
Mm-hmm.
basically, they just help out each other. They really didn't push forward that much.
Mm-hmm.
They stick to their stack and made sure they have every component that they have in their team still intact.
Yes. But
Yeah.
yeah, but again, I think Unlock is maybe Unlock, for me, they just know what Dignity is gonna do. Like they're very patient that they know Dignity is just gonna go in one by one, and
Mm-hmm.
Dignity is losing players left and right without. I'm not sure if they're just out positioned or they're just playing a bit really aggressive, but the positioning of their Rune Knight from their uh, um, Rune Knight from their Royal Guard is kind of off for me because again you're losing your sacrifice or your devotion on that one.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Dignity was just playing kind of off for me on the side of versus Unlock. So yeah,
Yeah, well, I really didn't understand what happened right there. Again, that sorcerer just went in and just got killed immediately.
yeah.
So I'm not sure. Maybe he misclicked, or just very unfortunate things happened for him. But yeah, that sorcerer just went in. Maybe he was planning something different, or they were planning a strategy, but just didn't work out for them because they
Mm-hmm.
got spotted immediately. But it's a very risky move for unlock or for dignity right there. But and yeah, it didn't really work out that well because the risk that they were willing to take at that time.
Yes.
And yeah, but that's it for match number one. It's a good game, well played. Unlock versus Dignity, with Unlock taking that victory in that match.
Yes. Wow.
Mhm.
I mean the plays coming from Unlock, the strategy. I think it's really nice to see how very accurate the Sura is on the side of Unlock. Like the moment
Mhm.
that he saw that opportunity that the sorcerer is out positioned, that's an insta kill coming from that Sura. So it's really nice that Unlock is very prepared for this match.
Mhm. Yes. All right. And we are going to head on to match number two in just a bit. It's going to be Essence versus Hers. So stick around, stay tuned, as we'll be taking a short break. We'll be back in just a
Yes.
bit. Hey guys, we are back here in Ragnarok Asia Masters 2023, and we are now ready for match number 2. MG, how are you feeling for this match?
Again, I'm very excited for this one because I'm seeing one of the classes that I'm really expecting to see for
Oh,
this map. So, yeah, I can't wait to see this
I don't
this
know
class.
what's the class? What's that class that you're
Do
waiting
I
for though?
see it now or?
Oh no, that's actually way in a bit later
But
on, but
yeah, yeah, that's
yeah, it's
actually
going
my
to
favorite
be
class.
pretty much exciting here for match number 2. And again, I think MG is all pumped up for this match, and this is going to be the battle between Essence and hers.
Hers, yes.
All right, so we'll see how these teams perform against one another right here.
Yes, and just a quick fact about this two guilds. They didn't lose any match from top 32 to top 16, and right now on top 8, it's gonna be different. So maybe we're gonna see definitely a very explosive match. I think that's the
Mm-hmm.
perfect word to define what's gonna happen later. So let's see. This is my favorite class, so I'm very excited to see.
Mm-hmm. Well, this is can be something to look forward to, because again, our teams really took the time to get ready and to get their classes all set for this match. And what I'm seeing right here is something it's quite a different one for hers, but this is going to be exciting as well, since this is a different class that we've seen here in this map,
Mm-hmm.
you can say. So this is a kind of combination that is very explosive.
Yes, yes.
If you know what I mean,
Yeah.
MG.
Exactly. I think that the class is perfectly fit on this one, especially if you're gonna pair it up with a good positioning. Because again, if you have this class, you're rocking with a high tempo, aggressive plays. So you can
Mhm.
actually go in, dive with your team, and once you created that space, I mean, technically you're gonna have like a quick space there, like 2 to 3 second space, and that's actually enough time for your Sura to take down any classes
Mhm.
on that time. So yeah.
All right, and now we are now at the starting point. MG, let's take a look at the class that you're looking forward and see.
Yes. Okay. On the side of Essence, we're talking about the mechanic on this one, and they have
Oh.
the Shadow Chaser. So again, I think the opener for this one is either gonna be the Sura or the mechanic on the side of Essence, and they have the 5 core classes, of course: the Minstrel, Archbishop, Royal Guard, War. Yes, the Sorcerer, and the Sura. So that's the 5 classes, and you have the mechanic and the Sorcerer. So a very aggressive, yet very defensive as well, since they have that shadow chaser to save them if there is gonna be a quick push coming from the enemy.
Well, here for the side of hers, well, we have a mechanic as well, but with a ranger.
Oh, top
All
16
right, so
meta. Let's go.
all right, we'll see how they perform here in the round number one
Mm-hmm.
of this match. MG, as soon as we start, I wanna hear that. Let's go. All
Yeah,
right.
let's do it.
Okay. Again, this is going to be match number 2 for tonight. Essence versus hers, round number 1. MG.
Let's go.
All right. As you can see, Essence actually taking the initiative here in trying to go in. Maybe they will meet here in the middle.
Yes.
Hers will just stick at their side. Of course, they're waiting for Essence to go in. Hers just waiting for the opportunity to strike. Essence just waiting for the right time to probably go in and push right here. They don't have that magnetic earth on the floor. They canceled that out. Of course, they want to be safe against that ranger of hers.
Yes. And I really like on the side of Essence, they're putting those vacuums on the floor, making sure that there's gonna be a limited space for that mechanic on the side of hers if he's gonna do a front slide.
Mm-hmm. Sirs trying to go in. Oh, Shadow
Oh!
Chaser, no Shadow Formation though, Essence.
Oh!
Pain, but Guillotine Fist actually, I think, got dodged by that Shadow Chaser, but Front Slide went in from that mechanic of Essence. Essence getting hit by that Arrow Storm. Front Slide once again. That
Suicidal?
mechanic, I think, used that Suicidal Destruction, but maybe members got hit by her from Hers right here. But Hers just trying to survive battle, but Arrow Storms will
Here we
connect
go.
once again. Gates of Hell, continuous damage here come from Essence. They're just backing out, moving in, using that Gates of Hell high speed card
High
trap on
speed.
that Sura. And of course, her still had that Ranger to damage. But Essence has that Sura just attacking that mechanic of hers, but he's getting hit by that Law Flow
Arrow
as well.
Storm?
Arrow Storms once again. 3 members left here.
Diamond
for
Dust, one down.
Essence. Hers is trying to survive the Archbishop for hers is low on health, but yeah, hers just taking the time here to attack the members of Essence.
Yes, I think hers the ranger of hers is just doing it for his team. He's just dodging those attacks and repositioning his character perfectly around the area. And again, they just I think they're just trying to finish off 2 players on the side of Essence. Essence right now is trying to survive, trying to catch the Ranger. Ranger is getting yes, and I think the Ranger is getting debuffed really hard here on the side of hers, but the save coming from the Archbishop on the side of hers. Hers right now is fighting back on this one, and I think the mechanic is just smashing the Sorcerer, putting the pressure on Works on this Sorcerer, and right now.
Essence is at a disadvantage right now
Yes.
because again, hers doesn't have that that sorcerer, so you can't really cast that dispel on your opponents to actually
Yes.
remove that defending aura or defender aura. But yeah, Essence will just take their time, maybe try and make a quick comeback here if they have enough damage to deal against hers. But hers will try and maybe reposition to a safer spot right here.
Yeah, or maybe they're just gonna burn or burn the time for this one. Because again, I think they're having a hard time on bursting one player. Since on the side of Essence, they have the answer to negate that Arrow Storm right away. So maybe they're just trying to move out of
But this
Essence
is so good
position.
something
Oh!
see something
Here we
different
go.
though. Essence committed with that full throttle, that sorcerer though. And now that mechanic is trying to cast the
Diamond Dust?
FW of the floor. But of course, Arrow Storms will connect. And Essence is caught Diamond Dust.
Here we go.
Didn't deal that much damage here. But he is getting targeted by that mechanic and Ranger.
Oh!
Well, that Royal
Guard is
of
down,
Essence went down. And now Sorcerer of Essence will go down as well as hers will be taking round number 1.
Wow. Like, good sustain there coming from on the side of Essence. Essence still managed to fight back for a bit there, but again, hers, they still have those characters to punish the 2 players on the side of Essence. So yeah, good pull out there coming from hers, and they actually managed to turn it into a quick push. So good job there.
Well, that was a nice attacks coming from Essence, just or hers rather. You can say it was just patience on the side of hers that they actually eliminated Essence in round number 1 there, because they waited patiently for Essence to go in. Again, that Shadow Chaser of Essence just quickly pushed in without any teammates behind him. So maybe that's one of the factors why it became a little bit difficult for
Essence.
hers.
Yeah,
But
Essence.
for hers though, they actually, or for Essence though, that Shadow Chaser of Essence managed to dodge that Guillotine Fist coming
Yes.
from hers. So one of the factors, I'm not sure if that's dodge or that hit, but yeah, then that Suicidal Destruction coming from that mechanic of Essence also went in, but I believe it was it didn't hit its mark basically, you
Yeah.
can say, because maybe it it went off for a little bit, or they managed
Yes.
to dodge that suicidal destruction. That's why it didn't land at the spot that they intended it to.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that was actually a good play coming from hers as Essence. They really need to catch up here in round number two because it will be really difficult, and they already committed that full throttle on that sorcerer.
Yes. And this is what I'm like mentioning earlier. Like if you're gonna have like a ranger on your lineup, we actually saw like multiple rangers on top 16. They've been really performing well. Rangers right now, they have that mobility around the map, so they can actually hide and reposition their characters perfectly to hit those off players that's not reposition those players who's not positioned properly on their stack. And I agree on the side of Essence that Suicidal Destruction is kind of off as well. And I think hers was just very was lucky enough to have that mechanic survive that Suicidal Destruction when he managed to cast it on the side of Essence, and having an extra firepower on the side of hers actually favored them. And I think on the side of Essence, if hers doesn't have that mechanic, I think they can actually, in some way, maybe take off a few players on hers, because again, they actually left with squishy players. But yeah, hers is very lucky on that suicidal destruction. So I'm very excited for round number two. Again, explosive
Yes.
plays from these two teams.
As they are now just finishing up of the bye phase.
Yeah.
And we might see a change of lineup here coming from these teams, but we're not really sure. But that mechanic can hit it. If that mechanic can hit its mark for Essence, that could have probably been the turning factor for their team. But hers, unfortunately for Essence, dodged that one, or maybe it didn't hit its mark. Maybe it's one front slide off. That's why it didn't really connect as it should. But yeah, maybe having a safer lineup, maybe utilizing a Runite or a Warlock for the lineup can actually be a little bit better for their situation, since they really need to catch up. They committed that full throttle earlier for that Sorcerer, so maybe having a quick change in lineup can work out well for them.
Yes. At the same time, I just want to mention as well that hers is very successful on this lineup. They actually used mechanic and ranger on top 16. So I really like the mentality here. Like, why should we change the lineup if this lineup works perfectly for us? Let's use it on top 8, right? Instead of opting out for a different classes that might, throw their offense and defense away, maybe just stick with the top 16 lineup. And right now, the lineup that they're using right now is working well against Essence. So I think right now hers is on the momentum here. I think Essence needs to bounce back on this.
Let's see now. Let's take a look at their lineup, MG, for hers. What do you have right there?
Yes. On hers, they're still using the 5 card classes, of course, and they still maximizing the mechanic and the ranger danger. Let's go.
Oh. And for the side of Essence, we actually saw a quick change in lineup here. They are actually utilizing a Rune Knight now, paired up with a Shadow Chaser. So this is a more stable and well-rounded lineup. But again, if hers manages to connect that Suicidal Destruction and Arrow Storms followed by a Gates of Hell, maybe it can be dangerous for Essence, but it can be really hard to pull off. So you really need to wait for your opponents. So you need to position yourselves at the right spot for you to be able to make that play.
Yes, and I think on this, the key here on the side of first, they need to connect that opening. Either they need to connect that curse circle or an opening for that suicidal destruction. The moment that they land either of that opening can actually guarantee them a win. But if they manage to mess that up with the lineup of Essence right now, they can really get punished really hard on this one. So hers needs to be careful on this round. So pretty excited to see match number 2. Let's go.
Yes, and now this is round number 2 of Essence and hers. And now
yes.
Essence actually just moving in very quickly. Same goes for hers. Now hers positioning themselves at this spot, the lodge on the floor for Essence right here. Of course, they don't want to get hit, so they can cast no magnetic earths will get
Going up.
committed here. But
Oh,
from that suicidal
suicidal.
destruction though,
Quick
it
out.
landed, but no one actually got eliminated here on the side of Essence. Now Essence just taking their time here to eliminate the members of hers one by one. Of course, that sorcerer overextended his stay
Oh.
right there in the stack of Essence. Now hers is actually just trying to survive the Dragon's Breath coming from Essence right here, as Essence just eliminating the
Yes.
members of hers one by one, as that Maestro will be the last one who goes down.
Yes, this is what I'm talking about earlier. They need to land those openings right away, and if the openings didn't actually connect, that's gonna be a big problem on the side of hers. And as you can see, Essence managed to counter initiate that aggression coming from hers, taking a perfect push without losing any player on their side, and Essence did it perfectly. So I think hers needs to re-strategize on how they will take this lineup versus Essence.
Well, the problem here for Essence, full throttle has been committed. I believe both from that Shadow Chaser and Rune Knight.
Yeah.
So that's why they can out maneuver and out damage hers there in round number 2. But yeah, they don't have that on hand right now for round number 3, because they already committed that one.
Yep.
So they really need to make sure to set things straight for round number 3, or maybe change their classes to a different one for them to manage their skills better, because having that full throttle on hand, or just at ready, can be a huge factor for your team. But of course, if they want to stick to their traditional lineup and don't want to change anything, that can work out well for them. But again, hers, I believe, didn't really commit that full throttle just yet. So
Yes.
maybe that's going to be up and ready here for round number 3.
Yes. And this is actually the beauty of having a Rune Knight and Shadow Chaser on your lineup. Again, the Rune Knight and Shadow Chaser is can actually like they're not technically the glass cannon that classes that you're gonna see on the 7v7. Definitely they can still absorb a decent amount of damage, and they can actually pots it up so they can recover, right? So this is the sustain for this lineup is really nice versus a high aggressive DPS lineup like hers. Again, on the side of hers, the moment that they miss that Suicidal Destruction, what's the next thing that they can actually do? Like an Arrow Storm maybe, or a Curse Circle. But if they're gonna go for a Curse Circle, what's the follow up skill on the first the Curse Circle? Arrow Storm again. But again, Essence can actually tank those damages. The only thing that they need to avoid on this one is the Suicidal Destruction and that
Well,
Curse Circle.
that suicidal destruction, I believe, landed. It landed. It
Yeah,
landed.
it landed. Yeah.
But it did do enough damage to deal to take down members of Essence.
Yep.
So because of an attempt made by hers right there, it became an opening for Essence to push in
Yes.
against hers. And that Runa just went in quickly along with the Shadow Chaser, just tearing down hers one by one. As Essence, they dealt with that sorcerer who from hers, who just overextended a little bit right there. He was already at the stack there of Essence,
Yes.
and no one was with him in the for his team. So because of that, that sorcerer of hers got eliminated really quickly.
Mhm. Yes. Again, Essence right now have a good answer on hers aggression. Again, Suicidal Destruction, hers, you need to land those Suicidal Destruction, and you need to keep them in one area. So you can actually do the Suicidal Destruction, sorry, and the Arrow Storm connection there, and maybe the Sura can just just pick off those out position players. But yeah, Essence needs to be consistent on their placement. Still, hers lineup is still dangerous for the side of Essence, so they need to be careful. Things can still flip on the side of hers, but again, I think Essence is having a good answer here versus Hers lineup.
Well, now because it's round number 3,
Yeah.
basically, Hers can commit their full throttle,
Mm-hmm.
basically. That Ranger can use that full throttle. That mechanic can also use that throttle if you want to do. But if he has that skill on hand,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe that Sura, if you want more damage, maybe you can commit that as well. But it's not really ideal for you to waste up more skill points to just take that skill. And this is what's different, or this is what's difficult for Essence, because this round number 3, they already committed their full throttles. They don't have that huge buff that they need to push through. They need to re-strategize and think of a way to deal with hers if ever they push in quickly with their lineup. Again, they are dealing with the mechanic, they are dealing with a ranger. They need to make sure what skills to use, because
Yes.
again, I like how Essence was aware that they are dealing with the ranger,
Yep.
that they removed their magnetic earth in favor of that deluge, or maybe
Mm-hmm.
just casting that deluge to remove that magnetic earth on their stack for them to be able to cast safety walls and numas.
Exactly. Yes. And I think on the side of Hers, they need to set the tempo differently. Maybe put the Sura as a bait so they can actually land a perfect suicidal destruction maybe. But again, Hers right now, they're just putting the suicidal destruction as an opening basically, and Essence is aware of on that one. So they need to set a different strategy or an opening in order for them to catch Essence off guard and land those AoE damage, suicidal, and arrow storm on top of Essence. I think that's the game plan that they need to do.
Mm-hmm. And now the match will start in a bit. Okay, this is going to be round number 3. Essence versus Hers. MG. What are you gonna say right here?
Let's go!
All right. Okay. So Essence is actually moving at the top side of the map. Hers is at the bottom, and now they might meet somewhere in the middle as well, or maybe their Essence is gonna wait for Hers to push in, because again, Essence doesn't have that full throttle on hand, and
Yes.
Hers probably still has that, or if they actually took that skill. But of course, they both of them are just waiting for each other here, and they're just playing it safe. They're both playing defensive because it's round number 3. They don't want to commit any mistakes, because this might be it for them if they do so.
Yes. And I think on the side of Hers, I think I really like their strategy right now. Because again, they have that long range capability that they can range out Essence on every spot. Plus, they have that Sura and mechanic that can actually move forward immediately. So the moment that Essence is kind of off guard, charging in, they can actually
Now,
commit those
Essence.
quick combo. Here we go.
But hold on to that thought, MG. We might see a clash right here, because the Shadow Chaser of Essence spotted Hers earlier. Essence just want to quickly utilize that Rune Knight in their lineup, causing that Dragon's Breath, eliminating the decoys on the floor. Magnetic Earth getting...
Ooh!
Ooh, someone will go down here on the side of Hers. I'm not sure who did. But
Sorcerer is low now?
Gates of Hell will go in. Hers just playing it safe here.
They're
Essence
still up?
doesn't want to commit just yet, but Dragon's Breath, one
Oh!
more will go down the side of Hers, and is ignorance on that Ranger, and Dragon's Breath continues damage here coming from Essence, but Essence will get disabled
Circle?
here. Curse Circle. Dragon's Breath once again coming from Essence, just targeting
Hers is-
Hers one by one. Ranger getting eliminated by that Dragon's Breath. Archbishop is the only one left with that last hit coming from Essence, as Essence will take the victory here in round number 3.
Wow. A good aggression there coming from Essence. They actually recognize the position of Hers on that spot. They know for a fact that Hers is actually kind of out positioned on that area. Having this quick block here on the side, they managed to capitalize on that one. And again, Rune Knight tanking the damage, aggression everywhere. So I think Rune Knight did a good job there.
Great job indeed by that Rune Knight of Essence.
Yes.
Great job indeed by a Rune Knight of Essence. I don't know what happened there, MG. All right, but yeah, it became a quite difficult there for Essence to, or
Yes.
for hers to push in, because again, they played it a little bit defensive, and one of them went down immediately by that Dragon's Breath coming from that Runite of Essence earlier. And because they have a lineup that's full on for attack mode, it became difficult for them to push in if they don't have scouts. Again, they don't have the Shadow Chaser. They are utilizing with the mechanic and a ranger. Maybe if they use that Sura to scout, or maybe that
Mm-hmm.
mechanic to scout, they can turn things around and they can have the advantage in that battle. But that was really unfortunate for hers.
Yeah.
And Essence will be moving on to the top four. And that's
Oof.
going to be it for match number 2.
Yes.
And match number 3 is going to be between
Arrogant
Arrogant and Hierarchy.
hierarchy. Yes.
And both of these teams, I believe, have performed really well in the previous matches, and they are just going to get ready right here. And yeah, so we'll be taking a quick short break. When we come back, it's going to be match number 3. So stick around and stay tuned. Hey guys, we are back here at Ragnarok Asian Masters 2023, and unfortunately, match number 3 will not push through. That is the match between
Arrogant
Arrogant and
and
Hierarchy.
hierarchy.
As Hierarchy will be disqualified, and Arrogant will be pushing through to the top 4 of Ragnarok Asian
Yes.
Masters 2023. Now, we are going to be having match number 4. Teams are all set and ready. They are now at the bye phase of the
Mm-hmm.
match, so we are going to be quick. Sorry for the long wait, everyone. And this is going to be the match between Scythe-like versus Resonance. This
Resonance.
is match number 4, the last match for tonight. And that was very unfortunate though for match number 3. I was looking forward to their matchup because
Yes.
again, Hierarchy was really
They have a good run.
very
They have a good run.
yeah, a very good team, yeah.
Yeah.
And very very unfortunate that that happened. But yeah, Scythe-like versus Resonance here for match number 4, and yeah, this is going to be quite exciting based on their lineup right now. A bit different here for the side of Resonance,
Okay.
and
Yeah. Same goes with site. Like, I think we're gonna see like maybe a defensive style with this lineup of classes because we keep on
mm,
seeing this specific class is being used for like semi-defensive style. I mean
well,
for top 8 only
well,
specifically.
I took a look. I took a look at the lineup of Scythe-like right here. It doesn't look defensive at all though.
I mean, we saw the other teams how they played it, you know. So
Uh-huh.
maybe they might adapt those style maybe, or I'm
Mhm.
not sure. I'm not sure.
Well, let's see how they make it work
Yeah.
because that's going to be a very dangerous lineup they have right there. But we'll see how they make it happen, how they make it work. And again, this is match number 4, the last match for tonight.
Yes.
Scythe-like versus Resonance.
Resonance.
And yes, of course, for those who are still watching right now here in Ragnarok Asian Masters 2023, please do vote or just cheer for a favorite team right now. Who do you think will win? Is it going to be Scythe-like or Resonance? Let us know in the chat. And yeah, we are now at the starting point. MG, let's take a look at the lineup of our teams.
Yep. Okay. So on the side of site like we have the 5 core classes. We have the Rune Knight, we have the Sorcerer, we have the Minstrel, Archbishop, and Sura. And for the 2 classes that they're gonna add for this is the Mechanic and the Ranger.
And for the side here of Resonance, we are going to have, yes, the 5 core classes and the Shadow Chaser and a Mechanic.
Ooh.
So it's going to be quite an explosive battle we have right here. MG, you are going to be a side of Scythe-like. I'm going to be
Yes.
at side of Resonance. And let's see how they battle each other out here in the middle or at this map. Again, this is quite a spacious map we have right here. And yes, not a lot of choke points, so that's why it's going to be quite hard to utilize a mechanic. But let's see how they make it work. Again, that mechanic for the side of Resonance is going to be a good option for them as well since they have that neutral barrier up. They can, negate the damage coming from that Ranger.
Yes.
But let's see how Scythe-like will go against that one.
Yep. And right now, I think Site like has a very like high DPS lineup since they have a Ranger. So I think on the side of Resonance, they need to be careful on this Ranger. Again, he can actually this character can actually do camouflage, reposition himself on a better spot to take out those outpositioned players. So here we go.
Let's go. Indeed, as Scythe-like and Resonance, Scythe-like will try and beat someone in the middle or in the bottom of the map, and that's Sura actually from Scythe-like. spotted where Resonance is, and now Sci-Fly, they quickly want to push in. Magnetic Verse slowly trying to go in, quickly connecting his
Oh,
spells. He
first
will
circle.
connect the spells. Curse Circle, not what nice. Suicide Destruction though,
Oh,
coming from Sci-Fly, landing on Resonance. Four members of Resonance are down. Sorcerer, Archbishop, and Maestro is left here for Resonance. Curse Circle will land on that Sorcerer. Lava Flow and the quick damages coming here from Scythe-like. And I
yes.
like how this Sura of Scythe-like is playing actually. He's playing mostly as a support player for their team. Curse
Yes.
Circle, not really that quick Gates of Hell like we usually see, but Curse Circle plus landing of that windmill as well. Followed by multiple damage output coming from his teammates.
Yep.
That mechanic and ranger as Scythe will be taking round number one.
Yes. I really like the balance of site. Like they know that they have like two DPS output where they have that ranger and they have the mechanic as well. So all they need to do is just to make sure that they can lock resonance in one spot so they can burst it. So that's actually what we're waiting for the Suras that's been playing for this top 8. But apparently only site like is doing this semi utility Sura to punish the enemy. So good job on the side of site like.
Mm-hmm. Yes, indeed. I don't know what they're waiting for, but yeah. So maybe there's still okay, there's an announcement. Okay.
There you
I thought
go.
there's still someone from Resonance still left. But yeah, that's for round number one. A beautiful curse circle plus suicidal destruction landing on Resonance right here, coming from site like.
Yes.
And what I like about that one is a sorcerer quickly went in. As that sorcerer went in, I know magnetic earth just quickly pushing with that magnetic earth, and then an
Mm-hmm.
arrow storm will follow. Then when that arrow storm connected,
Yes.
there quick curse circle followed.
Exactly. Yeah.
Then after that curse circle landed, suicidal destruction, and
Mm-hmm.
just a quick execution coming from Sci-Fi right there. It was a very good play, and that's why they won round number one.
Yes. I think that's the goal there. You need to make sure that the enemies are exactly in one spot so you can punish. And Cyclic demonstrated it perfectly. And Resonance with that area where they got a curse circle, it's really hard to do a maneuver there. So the best thing that to do there is just to spread out. Wherein Resonance did on that round. And Sight like is just punishing everyone. And the fact that the suicidal destruction or that mechanic survived the suicidal destruction, meaning there is no contest coming from Resonance. So meaning it's like a free kill on the side of Sight like on the side of Resonance. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And now, let's see what Resonance will do to counter the strategy that Sci-Fi has in store for them. Maybe if they position themselves a little bit more scattered, because
Mm-hmm.
again, they dealt with a quick curse circle coming from that Sura. And yeah, like what I said, the Sura of Sci-Fi really is playing differently from what we've seen in
Oh.
some of the previous matches that we've seen in Ragnarok Asia Masters 2023, wherein the Sura plays with very low HP
Mm-hmm.
and just quickly using that Gates of Hell, not really having that curse circle or a quick curse circle or initiating with a curse
Yes.
circle. We don't see that much often here
Mm-hmm.
in Ragnarok Asia Masters 2023, especially 7 vs 7 match. So it's quite refreshing to see a utility Sura as well being played here in this match.
Yes. I mean, I think Sight like just played the they just want to go to the basic on locking players then punishing. I think that's the goal there on the side of Sight like. But on the side of Residents, I perfectly get what they're trying to reposition there, but again, Sight like was just positioned perfectly on the right time. They pushed the stack of Resonance on the right time as well. Punished everyone on the right time. So I think Sight like is just doing it perfectly for their team. And on the side of Resonance, I think they need to have that bit of aggressiveness for this next round. Because again, we are aware that they're rocking with the Ranger on the side of Cyclic. So basically, they have squishy classes to punish. So Resonance should take advantage on that one to take the score out of the hands of Cyclic to tie the things up.
Mm-hmm.
So to in order for them to push match number 3 as well. Yeah.
All right. And now 1 minute left before we start our match. And yeah, we
Um,
are going to see what will happen right here. What are you expecting from Resonance coming into round number 2, MG?
well, I mean, this lineup that we're gonna have for round number 2, we actually saw this on the different matches for top 8. So if they're gonna have a very close range fights, I think Resonance can actually capitalize on their classes right now. Again, the classes on the side of Resonance, I'm not gonna mention it for the meantime, but again, they can pressure on a close range fight. And I think from there, the Sura can actually just head on and take everyone if they can perfectly manage to close the gap between the Cyclike and their team. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oof. So yeah. So I think right now everything I mean everyone is just preparing for this.
Yes, as teams are just getting ready for this next round.
Yep.
This is going to be round number 2, Scythe-like
Yes.
versus
Resonance.
Resonance. And yeah, let's see if we have a change in lineup for these teams. But I don't see any changes coming from these teams right now, though. They're still
Yes.
rocking, or Scythe is still rocking with that Mechanic and a Ranger in their lineup.
Yes. And on the side of Resonance, they have a Rune Knight and a Shadow Chaser. So they want to close things up versus Cyclike.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Yeah, I think this is gonna be good for Resonance. Because again, as much as possible, if you have a Rune Knight and Shadow Chaser, you need to go into the stack in order for your enemies, especially with the Ranger, to move out, or maybe you can actually catch that class with your Sura or your Shadow Chaser to lock him
Let's
out.
see what will happen though, because again, Scythe is using a Ranger. So, I like what Resonance did in the start of that round or round up earlier, where they didn't really push with that magnetic earth.
Yeah.
Rather, they can actually use that as well, but because they have the mechanic and that round number 1. But here now round number 2, I believe they don't have a mechanic, right, MG?
Yes.
So they really need to quickly utilize the skill set that they have. Maybe some Numas, because they want to prevent that Ranger from dealing that damage,
Yes.
or a lot of damage against them. But they can also maybe push with very quickly, because again, you don't want to get caught by that cursed circle coming from Sightlike.
Yes. I think with the lineup right now on the side of Resonance, they can actually use or capitalize on using a full throttle on this one as much as possible. If you have a very tanky lineup like this one, you need to close the gap immediately, and full throttle will actually help Resonance to close the gap between Sightlike. So yeah, I think full throttle is gonna be one of the answers of Resonance versus Sightlike on this.
Mm-hmm. All right. Just a quick reminder though, you cannot use outside buffs for characters you aren't going to use in the match. For example, if you're going to use or if you're going to, or it's not allowed in the rules basically.
Yes.
So you cannot use outside buffs. So like casting full chemical protection before starting a match is not allowed, basically. So just a quick reminder for our teams or our participants right here.
Yes.
So outside buffs aren't allowed. So just use the buffs that you have or for the classes that you are going to use in the
Yes.
match.
I mean, I think if you have that FCP, I think the what do you call this? The Shadow Chaser is gonna have a hard time on doing his.
Well, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
That's the disadvantage for the other team, right? If you have that full chemical protection, basically the Shadow Chaser will be having a hard time. You can only mask, but you cannot
yeah,
actually divest your opponent.
exactly.
That's why outside buffs are prohibited, unless, of course, if you are going to use that full chemical protection or FCP. You can only use that if you are going to play with a genetic in your
Genetic,
lineup.
yeah,
So same goes for the other buffs as well from other classes though.
yeah. I think we only see like one genetic, and that was like in season 1. Yeah. So no genetics for this season.
Well, I think for season 1 we only saw one match with the genetic.
Yeah, and I think I know who used that. So
Yeah, we
yeah,
only saw one match with the genetic though, and I'm looking forward to see more matches with the genetic. Maybe we can
yeah.
see one in the semifinals or finals.
Or GX maybe,
Uh,
or Guillotine Cross maybe.
well, it's going to be different
An
though, but
EVP Guillotine
uh,
Cross. Are we gonna
you
see
might
that?
get wiped out immediately if you use that one.
Let's see. Maybe somebody can actually pull it off.
Mhm. Well, since yeah, I think we're just waiting for some buffs to wear off.
Yeah.
That's why it's taking a bit of time here. But yeah, this is the round 2 again for Scythe-like versus Resonance. That's
Mm-hmm.
why these teams are really preparing themselves to um, you know uh to be more versatile here in this round. Again, this is the quarterfinals bracket. This is top 8. We are just waiting for our last team to enter the top 4. And
Yes.
whoever wins this will be moving on to the top 4 of our bracket. Again, that is going to be the semifinals. And that will happen on a Wednesday.
Wednesday. Let's go.
Uh-huh. So what will happen on Wednesday actually, MG, is the semifinals and the finals. I'm not sure if we're going to have a battle for third or if that will be on stream, but I believe it
Mm-hmm.
will. And yeah, basically it's going to be the deciding factor for our teams right here in the top 8 because again, you're almost there in the finals.
Exactly.
You're almost there, and you just need a bit more push for you to be able to enter the finals. So that's why teams are really eager to win this one. And finals will be in the best of 5 scenario.
Yes. And I think this match, the matches that we have right now can actually it will be their motivation or their momentum for top 4 as well. So if you want to push for top 4, you need to perform well on top 8, of course. You need to exert all of your resources and efforts as well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And that's why I think if I'm going to be in top 8, I'm already there, MG,
Yeah,
right? I'm already there, so I don't want to lose anymore. Basically, I
of
want to give it my
course.
all. I want to give it my best because again, let's actually repeat how much is our prize pool, MG, for Ragnarok Asia Masters 2023.
Yeah, we're talking about like 5,000 USD dollars. So that's pretty.
USD
Or
dollars.
yeah, US dollars. Yeah.
All right. Okay, so it's a 5,000 US dollar prize pool. Again, it comes with in-game perks as well.
Yep.
So yeah, I think you can get some boss cards or mini boss cards if you win Ragnarok Asia Masters this 2023.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And yeah,
Okay.
that's going to be interesting for our teams right here because
Yes.
uh I wonder what they will do with a 5,000 US dollar price or what will they do with the the cash prize if ever they win Ragnarok Asia Masters.
I mean, that's gonna be
How about
tough.
you, MG? How about you share your experience? What will you do if you're actually part of the team who won the prize pool? So first place reward is 3,000 USD.
3,000. Wow.
So if you're going to divide it by 7, that's around how much?
Okay.
Quick
Uh,
math, 70.
well, yeah. Anyway,
Quick
yeah.
math.
Anyway, if I'll be getting the prize, definitely first I'm gonna buy cosmetics for my Ragnarok character. Yeah, the eggs.
So
Let's go. Yeah,
quickly on
without any
cosmetics.
hesitations, I'm gonna invest with eggs.
Oh,
Costumes. Then the premiums as well. Make sure I want to make sure that I have the premiums as well, so I can push for the weeks or months. Then maybe the rest. Maybe I'm gonna upgrade my computer or something.
oh.
Yeah,
Well, that's a unique way to
yeah, I'm gonna upgrade it.
use the
Like
prize though. But
a
again, if
gaming
you're
chair,
actually one,
maybe. Yeah,
you will get in-game perks as well, right?
yeah,
You will get
exactly,
in-game
exactly.
prizes. So
Well,
yeah,
yeah.
maybe maybe using it all on draws. Maybe it's up to you
No, no,
though.
I'm gonna
'Cause
use
that's a unique way to use it.
100%. Like maybe 20 to 30% of my winnings will go to the eggs. Seriously. Like I'm kind of
Just open
frustrated
it.
on yeah, on the cosmetics. How about you? Like if you're
Hmm.
gonna win,
Well, I'll probably be doing the same thing, but
yeah,
I'll probably be doing the same thing. But yeah, that's that's different. Well, maybe I'll think about it when we get there. But I just need to get there first, basically, because it's a
yeah,
tough
exactly,
competition
exactly,
if you think
exactly.
about it, right? It's a tough
Yes,
competition. Again, you are dealing with a lot of good teams, so it's hard for you to actually push through to the finals.
yeah. You need to deal with top eight. After top eight, the following day, top four, then finals.
Mhm.
That's tough. That's
Finals.
tough.
All
Yeah.
right. But of course, our top two and top three will be winning some prizes as well for the top
Yes.
or second place rewards. That's a 1,500 USD. And third place is 500 USD. So it's not really
Still,
that bad.
yeah,
At
still.
least you get something out of it. But again, you're already there. So you need to
Almost.
bring it. You need to
Yeah.
do your best, of
The A
course, for you to
game.
be able to win the prizes.
Yep.
Just bring your A game every time.
Yeah. So, I mean, just imagine the pressure that they have right now. Like
Mm-hmm.
top eight from 32 teams down to 8 teams, and you're actually one win away for top four. So can't imagine the pressure that they have right now. But again, we have the best of the best teams that we have for this tournament. So definitely they know how to deal with this pressure. So yeah,
Definitely, definitely.
yeah,
Because it's different when you're just spectating and when you're actually
yeah,
there, when you're actually playing.
yeah,
But even when it's just online though, even when it's just online, the pressure can get to you. You can make a mistake if you're not really that confident in yourself, right? So
yeah,
you need to be confident, and you need to maybe bring out your A game every time.
yeah. Every
Maybe just communicating with your team will probably help.
Yeah, like even watching as well. Like we've been doing this for weeks now. I'm still thrilled and excited on what things can actually happen.
Mhm.
Like if suicidal destruction will land or how
How much damage it can bring, right?
yeah, yeah, you know. But yeah, I'm just really happy and excited for everyone. I'm just a big fan of Ragnarok, so 7v7. Let's go.
Well, definitely. Let's see how Sci-Like and Resonance can make it work. Again, this is round number 2. It took a while because we need to wait for some buffs to wear off.
Yes.
And yeah, prepared and ready for round number 2. No changes in lineup here for Sci-Like. They are still rocking with that Ranger and that mechanic in their lineup. How about you for Resonance right here?
Yes. Same goes with Residents. They don't have any changes for their lineup. They still have the 5 core classes, the Rune Knight, and a Shadow Chaser.
Mm-hmm. And let's see how they can utilize that Rune Knight and Shadow Chaser. Again, Sci-Fly is leading by one.
Yes.
And because Sci-Fi has that mechanic, they can actually use that barrier to negate the damage coming from that Rune Knight. So let's see how they can strategize and make this work for both of these teams. I'm quite excited to see how they will perform here in round number 2. Maybe we'll see another Suicidal Destruction or Curse Circle of Suicidal Destruction land here on the side of Sci-Fi. And for Resonance, maybe we'll see a quick full throttle push coming from that Rune Knight.
Yes. I think the full throttle should be casted at the middle, since the map is kind of big. Okay, so Resonance moving at the middle now, moving at the south side of this map, and they actually managed to scout the few players of Sightlike. Sightlike here is just camping this area, just want to play passively on this one or defensively on this one, planting those decoys. Magnetic Earth, they're trying to advance it, and I think Resonance right now with no Magnetic Earth, they're just very cautious on that Ranger. So I think everyone is just waiting for their movement. Okay, here we go, go to circle.
Circle! And Suicidal Destruction
Whoa!
will connect, taking out, I believe, 2 members of Resonance. But that was a slow and sure push there coming from Sci-Like. Now Sci-Like is going to get caught here. I think there was a full throttle coming from that Shadow Chaser of Resonance, but he got fiber locked here by that Sorcerer of a Sci-Like. Now Sci-Like is trying to deal with that Shadow Chaser just caught in that fiber lock. And someone got divested here. That's the Ranger of Sci-Like. Now he is getting dealt with that Rune Knight, and they are all very much scattered right now.
Yes, and I think Resonance can still win this. They still have like a good classes on their lineup, and Sight like right now is just running away from Resonance.
And now they still have 6 members left, but they don't have their Sura.
Yes, but again, they still have that Bragi and Dragon's Breath, so they need to capitalize on that, and they need to be careful on casting that Bragi as well to the enemy.
Mm-hmm. And now, because that Ranger isn't going to be active, he got divested, so no bow. He couldn't equip a bow, basically. And I believe that Royal Guard is also divested, so it's going to be difficult for Sci-Fi to actually deal damage against Resonance.
Yes.
But Resonance is slowly but surely, trying to catch up, trying to spot where Sci-Fi is. Again, they still have their Rune Knight. But I believe that Rune Knight maybe already casted that full throttle earlier, or maybe that's only their Shadow Chaser.
Okay.
But since Sci-Fi knows that they are leading in terms of numbers, though, I think Resonance is going to get caught here by Sci-Fi or by the traps of Sci-Fi. So maybe Sci-Fi is just waiting for that divest to wear off, then maybe they can push through. But Resonance, since they still have that DPS character in the form of that Rune Knight, they can try and catch someone right here. But it's going to be a game of tag basically right now.
Yes. I think right now the strategy on the side of Sightlike is just to make Residents to be out positioned so they can pick them off one by one. So I think that's the goal of Sightlike. But again, on the side of Residents, they know that they're very confident that they have that DPS tool on their side, because knowing that the Royal Guard on the side of Sightlike doesn't have enough items to support everyone, definitely that's going to be a big problem on the side of Sightlike. So it's a matter of time before Resonance connect to the to Sightlike on this. Dragon's Breath.
But they are still trying to run away and move out. I think this is going to be a 5 versus 5 battle. Sci-Fi is caught right now because of that fiber lock. They are targeting one member here from Sci-Fi, and now Sci-Fi will get damage here by Resonance. Now Resonance just wants to take the initiative in damaging Sci-Fi right here. Archbishop of Sci-Fi still alive. Sci-Fi just disabling.
One down, Minstrel.
Trying to crystallize basically Resonance right now, and it's a 5 member. I think it's 5 versus 3
Yes.
right now, though.
Yes.
So Sci-Like doesn't have any more members, or
Three
someone
members.
got eliminated coming from Sci-Like, and now it's going to be Resonance on the lead, Fiberlocks on that Shadow Chaser, and now Shadow Chaser just
Oh.
quickly trying to navigate and roam around right here. But again, Resonance with that DPS character still intact. Archbishop is caught here.
Mm-hmm.
And the Resonance, of course, Diamond Dust once again coming from that Sorcerer of Sight like. And how he's the only one left. Vacuums got casted, and I believe he got knocked out and eliminated as the Resonance will be taking round number 2.
Wow. That's actually a good patience there coming from Resonance. Resonance is bouncing back from a 1-0 defeat versus Sight like. And I think Resonance managed to figure out how to deal with the strategy of Sight like on this one.
Mm-hmm. And that's a unique way to end the match, though. Basically, Scythe, like, because they got divested by that Shadow Chaser
Mm-hmm.
of Resonance, uh, two of their members got really disabled. Basically, their Royal Guard and their Ranger. That's the
Yes.
problem with the Ranger, though. If you got divested, if you got stripped,
Yeah.
it's quite difficult for you to do anything, unless, aside from maybe placing traps. That's the
Yeah.
only thing you can do. But anything else, you're just going to have a hard time. You can't use that Arrow Storm because you have no bow, so you just need to wait it out, basically.
Yes.
Unless, for that Royal Guard though, he just needs to have that. Well, what's that called?
But yeah. I think
Mhm.
on the side of Resonance, the Shadow Chaser was really confident on diving in and trying
Mhm.
to put pressure on the
Yeah.
side of Sight like. Sight like was scattered, like literally
Oh
scattering
yeah,
everyone. Yeah.
MG. I remember the skill. Used a gospel.
Gospel.
So battle
Okay.
chant, battle chant. It's battle chant. So you just need to
Mm-hmm.
use that battle chant. Just flash that battle chant, of course, to remove the strip or the divest
Oh.
if you got divested. So basically, you can use that. But if your Royal Guard doesn't have that skill, again, you cannot remove the debuffs.
Oh.
But yeah, that's a unique way to end the match, basically, as it's going to be 1 against 1. Earlier it was Sci-Like who committed that full throttle on their Shadow Chaser,
Yes.
or is that Shadow Chaser? Oh no, that was Resonance who committed that full throttle on their
Yes.
Shadow Chaser. So they don't have that full throttle right now, and aside that's why they immediately divested that Ranger,
Yeah.
and he was quick in going in. He has boosted stats, so basically that was the cause of defeat for Sci-Like. And
Mm-hmm.
again, they got caught. Fiberlocks against Team Sci-Like right here, coming from Resonance, just to catch them off guard, and just multiple pushes, multiple attacks coming from both sides, just to take someone down. But eventually, Resonance got ahead. They still have that Runite for their DPS. They still have a Royal Guard who can
Yes.
exceed break and deal damage. They still have that Shadow Chaser to cause some debuff. So yeah, just quick view on just what just happened right there. It
Yes.
was a very much a chaotic round number 2, but again, Resonance just outplayed Sci-Like there at the end
Yes.
of that round.
Exactly. Like I think Resonance is gonna think they know what to do on round number 3 since they have set already the momentum for their team. And on the side of Sight, like again, suicidal destruction, is it gonna be really good or do we need to swap things out? I mean, that's gonna be the question on the side of Sight, like, because again, the suicidal destruction didn't do enough damage to take down several players on the side of Resonance. So the question there is the mechanic gonna be the answer for on the side of Sight, like, or do we need to opt out for Rune Knight as well to have a more balanced and sustained team to counter push Resonance? So that's gonna be the question on the side of side like.
Mm-hmm. And let's see what Resonance will do. No, if maybe they will change their lineup, probably because Rune Knight worked out for them really well. But again, it was not really the type of play that I think they were anticipating or they were expecting on doing. Because again, that the match was prolonged very much at that time. So maybe Resonance will want to maybe use a more damage dealers maybe here in round number 3, or maybe stick with that well-rounded lineup, of course. But again, they don't have that full throttle active, so it can be a disadvantage for them if they don't have that. They cannot quickly mask or divest any of the on any of their
Yeah,
opponents really
yeah,
quickly if they don't have that one. And if Scythe like performs like how they did in round 1 and 2, again, it was a perfect curse circle suicidal
yes.
destruction. I can say it was really a perfect
It is.
hit.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yeah, but again, no one just went down from Resonance. They were prepared in tanking that suicidal destruction in round number 2.
Yes. So yeah, I think they should go back to what strategy works for them. Again, on the side of site, like I think for me personally, I think they're kind of lacking on the aggressiveness, because again they managed to set a good tempo on the first round. I'm kind of expecting that they're gonna rock a the same tempo that they have for first round, but they actually went for a very slow tempo versus Resonance. So maybe on this third round we're gonna see a very high tempo. Again, that curse circle was perfect, but the question on round number 3, can he land that curse circle again on Resonance? That's gonna be the question for round number 3.
Let's see what will happen. Of course, this is going to be round number 3. Let's take a look at the lineups of our teams, MG. So what do
Yes.
you have there for Sight Like?
Yes, for Sightlike, there's no changes on the side of Sightlike. 5 core classes. You have the Ranger Danger, and you have the Mechanic that do the Suicidal Distraction. Let's go.
Well, for that Ranger, you just need to be wary of the Shadow Chaser
Yeah.
that Resonance is
Yeah.
using, because Resonance is still going to rock with that same lineup, Rune Knight and that Shadow Chaser. So let's see if this Shadow Chaser from Resonance will be successful in divesting the players of Scythe, or will Scythe land another perfect suicidal destruction on the side of Resonance?
Yeah, this is gonna be a tough call for both shot callers for this team, because again the pressure is gonna be really high since it's a 1-1. So if you lose, you're eliminated, but if you win, you're gonna go for top 4, and you can actually get a chance to get that championship match. So let's see if Resonance or Sight will who will dominate on this one. Let's
Yes,
go.
as round number 3 has just started. Let's go, MG. I think both teams will be meeting here at the bottom. Okay, both teams have scouted each other or have encountered each other right here. And now we have the Shadow Chaser of Resonance actually scouting ahead, followed by their Sura. But Scythe is going to move to a different spot right here, as they are going to wait for Resonance to push in. So maybe Resonance just trying to hold the things right now. Of course, they need to be wary of the traps that Scythe is going to be placing. So maybe they will be placing traps right here. That's why they're casting crazy vines on the floor as well. But Resonance is playing a little bit defensive. Same goes for Scythe right now. But Scythe actually maneuvered to a different spot. Now vacuums will get casted on the floor. I think that
Here we
Rune
go.
got caught.
Good.
Curse
Gates of
Circle
Hell.
will land here. Resonance, Exceed Break. Get
Suicidal
targeting
Distraction.
the members here of Resonance. As Resonance is getting targeted.
Oh.
Sorcerer caught by that Arrow Storm will get knocked down, as Scythe just holding their spot. Sura of Resonance is still alive. Resonance just going in. Dragon's Breath on the side here of Scythe. Resonance just getting targeted and damaged here, but Scythe will just quickly maneuver away, and the Resonance just doesn't have their sorcerer right now.
Yes, and this is what I like about Sight. They know for a fact that their lineup is a very high tempo moving lineup. They have the camouflage, they can reposition immediately, and they're taking advantage of this movement. And right now on the side of Resonance, they're just playing defensively on this one. They know for a fact that they can actually counter initiate on the side of Sight Like, but Sight Like just making sure that they have the perfect position to surprise Resonance with their Arrow Storm and Curse Circle.
Now, Cypher, I believe, still has their full lineup. And they still have their Sura, though. And the Resonance is down to 5. They lost their Royal Guard, they lost their Sorcerer. And now Cypher is going to be there. They don't have Magnetic or on the floor. Gates of Hell will connect, taking down that Shadow Chaser first. But I believe that Sura going in, Numa's on the floor. But no one is actually, or Resonance is not really casting that Gates of Hell. Gates of Hell will connect here. He's trying to catch someone off guard. Gates of Hell will connect once again, but not enough damage to eliminate that Ranger of Scythe-like. Now, Scythe-like still has that Sura on their side as well. Diamond Dust will connect.
They need to be careful
Gates
on that
of Hell
Sura.
will land. It's going to be 4 against 5 right now.
Oh, they can dive in now?
Will connect another counter.
Good dive?
Curse Circle, guilty fist to target that Sura, but of course they still have that Royal Guard. So Devotion and Resonance, Sura will get knocked down. Maestro will be knocked down next. And they only have that Rune Knight, Guillotine Fist to finish that Rune Knight off. They're left with that Archbishop, and that Archbishop will go down as well. Scythe-like will be taking round number 3.
Wow. Like that push, that last minute push coming from Scythe-like, taking down those key members on the side of Resonance, that was really perfect. Good recognition there coming from that Sura. Wow.
A very, very long match indeed coming from Scythe-like and Resonance, but that's round number 3, and congratulations to Scythe-like for moving on to the next round.
Wow.
And wow, what a great battle we had right there. It was very much a chaotic fight, but I'm not really sure. Maybe Scythe-like just tried to compose themselves, just to regroup and make sure they don't lose any more members, because again, they are aware that the Resonance still has their Sura. And it was a good counter Curse Circle coming from that Sura of Resonance. But unfortunately, for that Sura of Resonance, since they don't have that Sorcerer on their team anymore, since they lost that Sorcerer, no dispels can come off. That Devotion or that Sacrifice is targeted on that Sura. So, or the Sura of Sight-like, they still have that. So, when that Guillotine Fist landed, that Royal Guard just soaked up all the damage that Sura of Resonance just did. It was very unfortunate for Resonance right there. It was a very good play, but unfortunately, it's not really enough to take down Scythe-like. As Scythe-like will be moving on to the next round as MG. Let's take a look at our top 4 teams for Ragnarok Asia Masters 2023.
Yes. Let's go.
All right.
So right now, for our top 4, we have Unlock versus Essence, and for our second match, it's gonna be Arrogant and Sight-like.
Yes. All right. So again, let's the top 4 teams we have for Ragnarok Asia Masters 2023 is Unlock, Essence, Arrogant, and Scythe-like.
Yes.
And they will be battling each other like what MG mentioned earlier. So that's going to be the semifinals, which will happen on April 12, Wednesday, same time, 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. GMT plus 8. So that's going to be it for the matches for tonight. And thank you all for watching and tuning in. And wow, so excited for
that was
Wednesday.
Really good. Yeah, exactly.
Semifinals and grand finals, and I believe it's going to be the battle for third as well. So I hope to see you all there. Once again, we are your casters. My name is James.
And my name is MG.
And we'll see you guys next time. Bye, guys.